There's a snow day in South Park. Now let's take a look at it, and the new releases come out this week. And if you like the content, please like, share, and subscribe. The first game is Grandia HD Collection. It's on PlayStation 4, Xbox One. This is the rating teen, content descriptions, fantasy violence, mild language, and partial nudity. This is a role-playing game in which players help characters on a quest to prevent an organization from awakening an evil creature. From a 3/4 overhead perspective, players explore a medieval world, interact with characters, and battle fantasy creatures in turn-based combat. Players can choose various actions from the menu and watch characters perform intended actions. Battles are accompanied by light effects, slashing sounds, and cries of pain. The game occasionally depicts topless creatures and scantily clad pin-up girls' cardboard cutouts. Although no discernible details are shown, swear words are heard in the dialogue. The next game on our list is Planet Zoo Console Edition. It's on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X. The rating is everyone 10 and up. Content descriptions: crude humor, mild blood, mild violence. This is a simulation game in which players build and manage a zoo. Players build enclosures, manage animal needs, and monitor guest satisfaction to make a profitable and successful zoo. Placing animals inside enclosures with predators can result in animals fighting and killing each other. Players can place blood trail markers and frozen blocks of blood inside pumpkins for animals to interact with inside enclosures. Large chunks of meat and organs can also be seen feeding pens. Animals will occasionally defecate on the ground, and large piles of feces are depicted in certain areas. And the next game is South Park Snow Day. It's on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, and PC. The rating is mature. Content descriptions: blood, mature humor, strong language, and violence. This is a co-op action game in which players explore a town, perform quests, and battle enemy factions during a snowstorm. From a third-person perspective, players use swords, arrows, spells, and special skills to defeat other cartoony children dressed as fantasy characters. Combat includes cries of pain, explosions, and frequent blood spatter effects. The game contains frequent instances of mature and crude humor, a cartoon character smeared with feces, monsters made of feces, characters using flagellants to propel themselves, references to porn magazines, old used condoms fetched to repair a catapult. In one menu screen, characters can add testicular sack chin balls to characters' faces. Swear words appear in-game. The next game is Open Roads. It's coming on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, and PC. The rating is teen. Content descriptions: alcohol and tobacco references, language, mild blood, and suggestive themes. This is a narrative adventure game in which players assume the role of a teenager on a road trip with her mother. From a first-person perspective, players explore abandoned family properties, discover secrets, and make dialogue choices that determine the course of the story. Among dozens of items that the player can interact with, one item is a plate with blood on it, accompanied by dialogue. Some game items contain mild suggestive materials, a magazine depicting a shirtless woman from behind, a photograph of a woman in lingerie. The dialogue contains references to alcohol and tobacco. Players can also interact with alcohol and tobacco related items throughout the environment. Swear words appear in-game. Now let's take a look at Outward. It's got on Nintendo Switch. The rating is mature. Content descriptions: blood, gore, partial nudity, and violence. This is a role-playing game in which players assume the role of a fighter involved in a war between three factions. From a third-person perspective, players explore caves and towns, perform quests, and battle various enemies. Characters use swords, clubs, and magic attack to kill enemies in melee combat. Successful hits are accompanied by splashes of blood. In several environments depict corpses and/or large bloodstains. Some areas contain dismembered or mutilated corpses. Several of these corpses are depicted with exposed breasts and/or buttocks. And the last game of today's list with a full description is Pepper Grinder. It's got on Nintendo Switch and PC. The rating is everyone 10 and up. Content descriptions: fantasy violence. This is a 2D action platformer which players control an adventurer on a quest to retrieve her stolen treasure. From a side-scrolling perspective, players use superpowered drill to bury through environments and attack enemies. In some levels, players can pick up and use a cartoony Gatling-style gun to shoot creatures. Artillery sound effects can be heard. Enemies generally break apart into bones and/or fall from the screen when defeated. And the rest of the games on today's list are also coming out, but no information was available. Please follow Parents Guide to Games on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok, and email any questions at parentsg2g@gmail.com. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.